Georgia on Location is a video series where 8th grade Georgia Studies goes to places in Georgia and ties that to the topics that we are learning about in class. The purpose of this is to connect the classroom with the real Georgia outside the four walls of Lanier Middle School and to show the students parts of Georgia that they may never see. Today, we are going to talk about the Mississippian culture in Georgia. Good day. I'm Jim Wright with the Longhorn Historical Society, and today on location, we're going to talk about Mississippian culture, tools, food, and shelter. The Mississippian period, which lasted from around 800 AD to 1600 AD, was the most complex prehistoric Native American culture prior to European contact. The Mississippians were a highly civilized society prior to European contact. One of the ways that they were civilized was with their food. All right, so they were horticulturalists, which means that they planted their seeds, kind of like a precursor to agriculture. They wouldn't do wide scale agriculture. They would have farms and this and that, but not like a huge like industrial farm you would see. They would have enough to survive. And some of the things that they would grow on their farms would be corn, squash, and pumpkins. They were also hunter-gatherers, which means that they hunted game like deer, bear, rabbit, so on and so forth. If they lived near rivers, which most Mississippians would have, they would have created fish traps to catch fish and turtles or any other aquatic life. The gathering part would be they would gather nuts, berries, seeds that were in the wilderness, in the woods. So this was some of the stuff that they would eat to survive. Some of the tools that the Mississippians used were made of stone, wood, and bone. An example of a tool would be this right here. This is a pine tree knot, so it's a branch that has a knot on the end, and this knot is heavy, so this could be used as some type of weapon, obviously kind of like a mallet or a war hammer, but it also could be used as a construction device, as a hammer, as a mallet, so to speak. Okay. Their chief tool or weapon would be the bow and arrow. So we have the bow and arrow right here. This is the bow, be made out of wood, obviously. And then you'd have your arrows. Okay, your arrow would be made out of river cane, which is kind of like a relative of the bamboo. And then on the end, you'd have what is called an arrowhead and a stone point that's been chiseled and manipulated so that it is sharp and it could pierce whatever they're trying to attack. So they lived in cities or villages, and these would be built with something called wattle and daub. And basically, it would be kind of like a square house, and it'd be woven with branches, and then mud would be placed on the outside of it. And then on top would be a roof covered with thatch, which is like sticks and branches and stuff like that, and leaves. And then there'd be a hole in the center so that the smoke from inside the home could escape out the center. One aspect of Mississippian culture was the way that they built their mounds. They were known as mound builders, and these were a type of pyramid, if you will. If you look at the mounds, they're similar to the pyramids found in central Mexico by the Aztecs. And this was a way of determining social hierarchy. The most important people of the tribe lived on top of the highest mound, the priest chief. The lesser mounds would have other people of importance, but not as important as the priest chief. In addition to social hierarchy of the mounds also served for religious ritual purposes and for burial purposes. So there has been evidence of human remains in several mounds throughout the southeastern United States. The mounds that you're looking at, Nacoochee and Etowah, you can see there are various mounds, various sizes of these mounds, and a huge part of the civilized structure of the Mississippian life. Good afternoon, Longhorns. This is Mr. Wright here on location at Sawnee Mountain. I am sitting right now at the famous Indian seats. This area would be home to the Mississippians around the time that we've talked about in class. So I wanted to come out here and give you a on location glimpse of Sawnee Mountain. Mississippians would have used this for a couple reasons. So one of the reasons they would have used this would be for ceremonial rituals. These Indian seats would have played an important role in their concept of religion and culture. 200 years after DeSoto would have came through North Georgia, the remnants of the Mississippian Indians, the ones who survived warfare and disease, would have established what would be called the Cherokee in the north part of Georgia and the Creek in the south part of Georgia. I am standing in front of a statue of Chief Sawnee. Okay, he was a local Cherokee chief, and Sawnee Mountain is named for him.